This video is a comparison between the Seagate GoFlex desk drive, which is this one here, and the Western Digital MyBook Essential. In terms of the comparison, what we're looking at is basically ventilation as well as thickness and size. So we'll see here. This one here is the Western Digital. It looks very similar to an Xbox, miniature Xbox, in my opinion, and it's a bit thicker in size than the Seagate. You'll see that if I just line it up like so. Now you can't really tell based on the angle that the video camera is on, but there's a better idea for you in terms of what the thickness is like. In terms of ventilation, I like the ventilation that Western Digital has included on this. It's both on the top and bottom as well as the back side. And it's very big slats in there so that the air can pass through it. In comparison to the Western Digital, at first glance, the little indentations here make it look like they're ventilation holes, but they're not. The ventilation comes out from the top here around the edge, as well as on the bottom. When you take this off, there's a bit of a ventilation on the bottom side here. Aside from that, there is no other ventilation. So in terms of ventilation, the Western Digital beats it hands down. In terms of size, now if we're just comparing hard drive size, this one here is a 1.5 gig, terabyte. This one here is a 2 gig terabyte. Sorry, let's try this again. This one here is a 1.5 terabyte. This one here is a 2 terabyte. In comparison to usability, when you look at the Seagate, as you saw just now, I could detach this piece here. And I love this about the Seagate model, is that you can detach it and you have your power and your data and your USB right on this little, I'm going to call this dongle, because all you do is you give it power and you give it USB and you're up and running. You could take a drive, an external hard drive, and you can plug it in right away. So here's an external right now. All I need to do is just basically line it all up. There you go. I'm done. All I have to do is plug it in terms of the power and the USB, and I've got a drive operational right away. In terms of the Western Digital, the Western Digital doesn't have that feature. It's built into the case, and there's no way of removing it. One thing to note about both of these, they do both use the mini USB, so it's not a proprietary type of connector, and it does. Both of them do use a barrel connector. Just by looking at it, it looks like it might actually be the exact same size barrel. Here is the Western Digital connection and the Seagate connector, and it does fit in the same way. In terms of comparison of voltage, I'm just trying to look here if I can tell the voltage on this, and I can't. That's pretty surprising because they usually put it on the plug here, and I don't see it. Let's see what's on this here. No, surprisingly, the voltage is not listed on either the bottom part of it as well as the external case, but it fits the same. But be careful, because you don't want to use a higher voltage than you should, or even a lower voltage. So that is basically the comparison between the Western Digital MyBook Essential and the Seagate GoFlex desk. In my opinion, which one is better? You have to look at what you're comparing. If you're comparing ventilation, the Western Digital is much better in terms of ventilation. In terms of flexibility to be able to upgrade or use a drive on the fly, the attachment that the Seagate offers, which is this piece here, is much more superior than the Western Digital. In my opinion, which one is better? Well, neither. Neither of them are better than the other. They both have their own purposes. They both have their own solutions that it accommodates for. So it really depends on the user. If the user wants ventilation and they're putting it in something like a cupboard or some type of area where it's not ventilated, then you want something with very good ventilation, such as the Western Digital. If you're a user where you're always going to be plugging in drives on the fly, like this, and you're just plugging it in, the Seagate is going to be better. So it all depends on how you use it and what your purpose is. So if that answers somebody's questions, hopefully it does. If you do have any questions about these products, please do post them. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. If you do like this video, have a look at the other ones. I do have a whole bunch of other videos on technologies, so please do look at that as well. Thanks again for watching.